Good morning. Ah, what a nice intimate gathering. Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, where you are welcome always. And we just know that today that there's going to be something special here for you. I'm Reverend Brent Davis. I'm a member here of this community, and I just want to welcome you. And let's just all do the good doobie thing right now. No, pull out my Kleenex, no. Let's take our phones and turn them off. And then when you've accomplished that, turn and greet your neighbors.
Hello.
What a glorious day it is today, and I woke up this morning and saw all the fog and then the sun breaking through. And you just say, that's why we live here. What a blessing. What a blessing it is to have you all here. We'll start our morning service with a chant now, and you'll lead us in that.
That's indeed correct.
And following that, Posi Lyon will lead us in prayer.
Let's all stand up for this because I want you to practice doing the leaning thing. The leaning thing. Because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you and you and you. I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. Because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can. One more time. Because the one I love lives inside of you. I lean as close to you as I can.
Ooh. Good morning. I'm Posi Lyon. I'm the platform practitioner this morning, so if you'd like to close your eyes and join me in prayer and just feel that leaning into love itself. Remembering indeed that there is only love, only God, only one being, one power, one presence that is everywhere in its entirety. It fills all of space. It is that which I am made up of, and everyone else is made up of God. There is no God and, there's only God as. So I breathe that in. I allow that realization to fill me up from inside out, and I invite everyone else within the sound of my voice to feel that presence, to lean into it, to allow it to be fully experienced, embodied. Oh, how good it is to allow that presence of God to fill every nano cell of my being, to open to to allow something greater to be experienced and expressed as a result of this service today. I'm so, so grateful for the awareness, the recognition, the experience of God flowing through me. And I release this word with love, with delight, knowing the law must return this word pressed down, overflowing. Let it be. And so it is. Amen.
One-man circus today. Hi, I'm Bodie. Some people from our ritual class. We had a ritual Friday night to honor the summer. So, this is a song called Eye to Eye. It's eye, the eye inside, looks into your eye, recognizes you. Sounds a little funny this morning. Anybody else feel funny this morning? This is about taking the love that we feel and spreading it around the world through song. It goes like this. Come with me, take a stand, spread our love throughout the land. United we walk, hand in hand, sing it together, I know that we can. The sky may fall, the tears will fly, but you'll be there. And so will I know we'll see eye to eye by and by. You may think that it's just a dream to live in a world of harmony and peace. Ah, many have tried, and many still do. Oh, we stand against the odds for what we believe is true. It takes more courage than you can imagine to live in the world when you feel so fragile. Just do what you can, yes, a little each day. Yeah, the pieces of the puzzle come together this way. So come with me and take a stand, spread our love throughout the land. United we walk, hand in hand, sing it together. Yes, I know that we can. The sky may fall, and tears will fly, but you'll be there, and so will I. I know we'll see eye to eye by and by. If you're alive, you can't help but feel this blue-green planet, well, it's starting to heal. It's been a rough ride, and many have died. Yeah, still I remember the dreamer who cried. What do you say, come with me? Come with me and take a stand. Spread our love throughout the land. United we walk, hand in hand. Sing it together, I know that we can. The sky may fall and tears will fly, but you'll be there, and so will I. I know we'll see eye to eye by and by. Yes, I know we can see eye to eye here and now. Eye to eye. I said eye to eye. Everybody singing eye to eye. Here and now, I know we can see eye to eye here and now. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Look at where we find ourselves. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley, and it's so good to see each and every one of you. You know, sometimes when we go to a different place, and it's usually here or that other little place in Mill Valley when we can't be at our regular home, there are people that show up that I haven't seen either in a long time or like ever. And I want to say to everybody, you know, 10 o'clock at the Corte Madera Rec Center, we are there every single Sunday. So I want to warmly welcome every one of you. And then as I was sitting over there, I thought, well, maybe they sit in the back, these people that I don't recognize. And so if I haven't hugged you recently, then we'll just do it that way. Please come up to me after the service so I can warmly welcome you personally. And I want to congratulate us all for finding ourselves here and finding a parking place. And because change is hard, you know, for all of us. But here we are, and it's kind of exciting, right, to go visiting. And we prayed in, and we put love in every single corner, and we sent love up into these little lattice lights and all of that. So we established this as the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, and I am reestablishing that. This is the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living Sunday morning, and we're all here, so thank God. So, yes. So this whole year, we are exploring a wonderful essay by our founder. It's called What We Believe. And if you are interested, because we're going to kind of like plop in on the 7th statement this morning, because this is the 7th month of the year. And if you like the statement today, you might even go on csl.org. That's the main website of our whole denomination. And you can just, it's pretty easy to find. I don't exactly know what you click on next, but it might even say philosophy. And then you'll see this whole essay in its entirety. So I am going to jump in now to statement number 7, because that's what we're looking at in July here. So the 7th statement is, we believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual, and that any person who lives in close contact with the indwelling God may become a revealer of truth. So what this says is that we can all be like the prophets of the Old Testament. We don't even have to figure it out. We can absolutely speak a high truth about ourselves, about our world. I thought that was a lot of high truth in that song, you know, that our blue-green planet is starting to heal, and that's the world I'm in. So thank you, Bodhi. So what this quote says is that if we are in close connection with the indwelling spirit, that if we're plugged in, if we, and close contact to me means that we think about oneness. You know, every time we have a judgmental thought, we remind ourselves, no, it's the one God that Posi spoke about. We all share this one source, and so we find ourselves spending time within and not letting the world always seduce us to the outside, that we spend time within on a regular basis, and that we work at healing reactiveness. We work at healing blame. We work on forgiveness. We work at healing anger and fear, and we work at hearing the difference on the inside between the intuitive voice and the ego voice. That's what it means to me, in part, to stay in close contact with the indwelling spirit. And if we do that, if that's a habit for us, if we spend time on the inside and work at healing reactiveness and all of that, if we work at that, we are in close contact with the indwelling spirit, and we do have access to a higher truth than we would normally have walking around in a reactive world where our anger is stimulated and our fear is stimulated. We are able to speak a higher truth of oneness. We are able to speak a higher truth of connectivity and non-judgment and looking for the good and praising it. And as we speak it, we live it. Because, you know, we really are very consistent beings. We speak and act and live pretty much in the same realm of beliefs. In fact, it is inevitable that we do that. We cannot speak a high truth from a centered place and live a different life. So everybody, you know, if we have eyes to see, we kind of see where people are. And the same with us. People kind of see where we are. And so we reveal whatever our truth is by speaking it and living it. That's, you know, we can't really do it any differently. That's the way we're made. So, you know, another thing that at least for me, that this place is doing is it's making me really appreciate the wonderful images that we normally have on the big screen behind us. So you have to have all those wonderful images in your own head today. So, so I want to talk about truth. What's the difference between a small t, little t truth and a big T truth? And then I'm going to apply it to relationships, because that's really our topic today, is revealing the truth in relationships. That's the talk title. So we are always revealing whatever truth it is that we live in. A lot of us, most of the time, live in a small t truth or a medium t truth, and then kind of look up towards a big capital T truth. And we reveal whatever our truth is, not only the lofty truths, but we reveal it all. We reveal it by living our life. Our life reflects what we believe. Remember that quotation, I think it was Emerson that said, "Who you are speaks so loudly I cannot hear what you say." So we're sorry. We're kind of transparent that way. So if we believe that life is hard, then it is for us. If we believe that relationships are really difficult, then they are for us. It's we live out what we believe on the inside. That's why our work in this denomination is about healing beliefs. We look to great examples. We look to Jesus, who became the Christ. We look to Buddha. But we do that not to worship those people so much as to have a great example of how to clarify our own thinking so that we can change our beliefs and live a higher truth. So then we've got this little T truth that we sometimes muck around in. And then we have the great big capital T truth, the ultimate truth that never changes. So this great big T truth is infinitely supportive. It is absolutely complete. It is the very nature of the universe. And we imagine that this ultimate T truth, the capital T truth, has a lot to do with love and joy and oneness and creativity and abundance and power. But we can't know the ultimate truth because life is always so much more than we're aware of. As much as we can download, as much as we can sense into the ultimate and into our source, it is always so much more than that. Remember, we actually process in this earthly form less than 1% of what is going on around us. That's pretty amazing, isn't it, to think that as much as we can see and feel and know and sense, and there's 99% more happening. And so we can't know the ultimate truth, but we figure that the ultimate truth has a lot to do with joy and peace and power and so on, because as we spend more and more time in close contact with the indwelling spirit, that's what we get. We get that it's all about love. We get that it's all about peace, and we get that it's all about connection. And so we extrapolate from that the ultimate truth is really, 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 really about love and peace and connection. So relationships. Relationships lie somewhere on that continuum of the little T truth and the capital T truth. And what we believe about relationships and our skill in relationships and what we believe about the people that we attract into our lives is little T truth or better, depending on how much work we have done. So I imagine that most of you would agree with me that relationships are a formidable learning lodge on earth. Okay. All right, I'm speaking to the right group here. So I believe that our souls had a lot of choices about, and continue to have choices about what we do, where we go, what we learn, how we incarnate or not. And here on earth, it seems that we've got 4 main learning lodges. We've got relationships, we have supply, we have health, and we have divine expression. Those are where a lot of our effort goes, and a lot of our pain is, and a lot of our joy is. So I call them learning lodges because we can always get better at them. So it seems to me that a very, very important learning lodge for our soul is relationships, because we all have them, right? I don't know any hermits here that never, ever see anybody, or you probably wouldn't be here now. So it's very important for us to have these relationships and all of the pain and all of the joy that they bring, because when we use them correctly, I think, we work at healing. We work at making it all better. And as we work at that on a spiritual level, not, of course, working on them, but working on us, they do become better. So let me tell you about the high truth, the highest truth that I know about all your peeps, about every single person that you're in relationship with, every single person that you either know or you know on television or you can recognize their photograph or you hear about them. All of those people in your life, each and every one is majestic, beautiful miracles. Everyone. Each and every one is brave and resilient and complex. Each and every one is interesting. And each and every one is perfect, whole, and complete. Each and every one is the home of God. Each and every one is capable of great love and great compassion and great creativity. Now, I admit that some of them live in very interesting disguises. But you know, and we can even use that to be in judgment. We can say, well, there goes another child of God in such an interesting disguise. And actually, that's a quote from Mother Teresa. I'm sure she said it with great love and not with attitude. And we can say it with attitude, but the truth is everyone is majestic, unrepeatable miracles because there's one source and there's no place else to come from except that one divine source. And so every single person that took a body came from God. And that's, I mean, there's no other place to come from. And if we knew this, if we really lived this part in this learning lodge of relationships, I think that we would be in total peace and brilliance. Even if somebody else behaved badly, we would instantly be able to forgive them and see their majesty underneath that turmoil that's going on with them. We could see that. And so we would not ever be in a reactive state because we would just see, well, there they are, those little sweethearts, you know, just ranting. And the truth is, they're majestic miracles. We would all be able to do that. So I can't do that all the time, but that's why it's a learning lodge. And all of our relationships would be fun and inspiring if we could stay there. And if we aren't there with everybody, then we are in the learning. So is there anybody that is in the learning here with me? Okay, great. Because I really am. I mean, I'm in a place in my life right now where it's pretty easy for me to see the majesty in everybody, and it hasn't always been that way. And I am relishing this time when I can just be in love with folks and happy and content and see the majesty in people. So the small t truth about relationships is that when we're in pain, we bring the unhealed parts of us into relationship. Because we all have unhealed parts. And it's because our unhealed parts have to do with when we were not seen as majestic miracles. If we had been seen as majestic miracles our whole life, if every single time we had an interaction with anybody, love poured out of their eyes, and we learned how to see ourselves the way other people see us, and the only way they saw us was as majestic, unrepeatable miracles, then we wouldn't have very many unhealed places, if any at all. But we have not always been gazed at with adoration. We have not always had that experience that when we come into the room, people see the God in us and it is majestic. So when we are seen as less than we truly are, when we are seen with a small t truth, we have pain, because that's what happens when a lie is perpetuated. The lie creates pain in us and for us. And so when we were seen as something less than this unrepeatable miracle, we have these unhealed parts in us, and these unhealed parts interact with the unhealed parts with our other folks that are in our learning lodge with us, and that's when we just have all-out pandemonium. Is when unhealed parts link up with other people's unhealed parts, and you have this raving fight going on that it recurs and recurs and recurs and recurs. Anybody ever have that happen? Or that you change partners, but somehow it's the same thing. They just have a different face and a different name. It's the same thing going on. It's because they have pricked the same unhealed place, and we have a part in that. It's so darn familiar, we choose another one like that until we heal the unhealed parts of us. We all have greatness as well. We have majesty in us, in those parts of us that are restored to greatness or have always been the natural divine self of us. And it's when the greatness interacts with each other that we have heavenly relationships. So how many of you have had some kind of relationship therapy in your life? Oh, good. Right with me here. So when you went to a practitioner, or when you went to a therapist, or when as a couple you went to relationship counseling, you were revealing some of those unhealed parts of you. And so the reason that this talk was difficult for me is because, difficult for me to prepare for you, is that I have the stories inside me about my unhealed parts, but every single one of you went to that relationship therapist for a slightly different story. So as we go through the rest of the talk, I'm going to tell you one story, but I want you to supply your own stories, because I can't talk about every relationship issue. I can't talk about every single pain that is represented in this room. So I struggled to create a talk where it was way, way up here and something I could say would apply to everybody. And I've got a couple of things that I think can apply to everybody. And one of them is the review of the model of practice that we had last week. And I will send this out again in the letter to recap. But I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what we established last week and how it relates to relationships. So the first thing about revealing big T truth is to establish a regular spiritual practice. When you establish a regular spiritual practice, what that helps with is healing your broken places when you don't have to bring them in front of someone else. You just open to God and you bring this unhealed place into your meditation. You bring this unhealed place and you put it at the feet of the Master and say, I of myself cannot do anything with this. I am surrendering it to you. And when we do that, this healing balm comes upon us and a higher truth is revealed. And you may have a memory of when this belief in lack or limitation or self-judgment was installed. You may not ever have a memory. You may just have this overwhelming feeling that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened back then, because what matters is the love that is infusing me right now. But as we create regular spiritual practice and bring our pain into the spiritual practice, not to review it, but to give it up, it happens. Healing happens. All you need is the desire to have that healing take place, and God will accomplish it for you. So the next part of that from last week was ask, what is the highest vision here? So you might be very, very angry at someone in your life, and you take this into your spiritual practice, and when you can set your ego aside the ego that says, I didn't deserve that. They should treat me better. What's the matter with them? When that ego voice is set aside and you ask in spiritual practice, what is the highest vision here? Something will be revealed that has to do with healing. Something will be revealed that has to do with compassion. Something will be revealed that has to do with the high truth of the majesty that each one is. And it might be so majestic. The message might be, this person who has given you so much pain in your life is truly a beloved of the Master. You might think, well, that's special. And you might not be able to take all of that in, which is why we have the next thing that you ask, which is, what truth can I totally accept? And if you cannot accept that this person is a majestic miracle, what could you accept? You might be able to accept, well, this person is willing to listen. You might get, this person wants love just like me. You might get, this person is acting from their unhealed places. You'll get something that will take you out of the blame. And then when you get that, whatever truth you can all totally accept and encompass, then you speak forth that truth. You go to them, you say, I know you want love. You know, if you are in the heat of relationship war and you go to that person and say, you know, I know what you want is love. That will change the dynamic there. That will change. Now, it takes you being the brave, resilient miracle that you are to do that. But if you go through these steps, establish a regular spiritual practice, ask the highest vision that wants to be revealed, and then maybe step it down and say, what can I totally accept that's less than that ultimate truth? Anything will be better than fighting. And then speak forth that truth. If you do this and do this and do this and do this, what will happen is that you will activate your own inner relationship therapist. It is inevitable, because what you are doing with that simple step-by-step practice is that you are allowing a higher truth to be revealed, a higher truth to be revealed, a higher truth to be revealed, and you are participating in your own spiritual evolution. So that's one of the things that I think can relate to any spiritual relationship issue, and they're all spiritual. Any relationship issue, you do that and it's going to get better. And if you need help doing that, you come to a practitioner. You say, you know, I took notes, I've got it right here. Reverend Karyl said this, this, this. I tried this, I need some help. And every practitioner will be able to help you with that. So now here's the next part that is my mini story of the morning. The next thing that I think can relate to every single relationship issue. So we have monthly birthday parties. We announce them all the time, and many of you have come. But they are based on the astrology month, not the calendar month. And so what happens at these parties, if you haven't been there, is that we meet and party, but then we have a little process, and the birthday people have a set of questions to answer about their personality traits relating to their horoscope. And then mostly the people who are at the parties are not the birthday people. And they just come because they want to party, which is fabulous. And they have a whole set of other questions that are about personality, because actually astrology is a lot about traits. And we don't talk about the blessing of personality very much. It's actually what we get to express through in this life. Some great qualities, some unskilled qualities, all that is part of the same thing. And so the people who are there regularly answer this question. What personality trait do you appreciate most in your friends? We've done this now for like 10 months, and that question always comes up. So I have a lot of answers for that question because I've been to all the parties. And there are things like loyalty that come up all the time, but what comes up mostly, which says to me this is good for relationship because everybody likes this, 2 qualities: sense of humor and curiosity. Those are the favorites that people have for their friends. And if you think about it, those are great spiritual qualities and harmless for every relationship. A sense of humor gives us a lightness about all of our circumstances. It's like, you know, lighten up already and laugh about your foibles. That is such a harmless quality. And curiosity is another harmless quality. There is no judgment whatsoever in curiosity. There is no blame in curiosity. There is no pain throwing in curiosity. It's like, wow, I wonder what's going on there. I wonder why they did that. I wonder what happened in their past that produced this. Do you see how just kind of open and okay it is when we come to each other with a real sense of humor and curiosity? So that's very instructive to me. There is not negative judgment, there's not heaviness, there's not fear, there's not disappointment when we are genuinely humorous and with that attitude of, my gosh, that's so interesting. We actually have a chance of seeing the other person as a majestic miracle and the home of God. And what's so is that it's all going to be okay at some point. We are all going to get this. We are all going to get this in, and I have been at the bedside of many people who are passing. And a lot of this healing happens at the very tail end of this incarnation, and it doesn't have to. You can make up at any time. You don't have to wait until the very end. But ultimately, we're all going to be healed of our relationship pain. Because I want to remind you of what May's theme was. I'm going to read May's theme, and it's all going to feel so good. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. That's what we studied all May. And when we apply that to our look at relationships here, we're all going to get healed. We are all going to heal relationship pain and forgive it all, and it's all going to be in the past interesting story of our soul's evolution. And we might as well do it right now. Because we all have majesty in place. We all have our unhealed parts, which we're still working on. And if we treat ourselves and each other with compassion and humor and curiosity, we will all heal precisely on time. So the takeaway today is everyone is pretty much like me, with greatness and unskilled parts. You know? So I wish you gentleness as you go forth into the world. Let's do the inner work now. So, my precious miracles, I invite you to bring to mind a person that has been painful for you in your learning lodge of relationships. might as well get right down to work. And you might put some glowing lights around the face, just to soften things. And in your own heart of hearts, in the secrecy of your own healing lodge, say to this face in front of you, silently within, just like me, this person has a deep desire to love and be loved. That's got to be true. Love is that universal connector. It's our natural state. And if we're in a confounded way with our natural state, we're in pain. So sad. Just knowing that this person wants to be loved just like me. Just like me. This person in front of me wants to be seen and appreciated for the miracle that they are, even if they can't see it themselves. They want to, even if they're not aware that they want to, they do want to be seen as the majestic child of the infinite that they are. And just like me, this person is seeking understanding in both skilled and unskilled ways, but they just want to have a firm footing under them and know what's coming down the pike and be able to direct their own destiny with their mind. They want understanding, just like me. And just like me, they want to be free from fear. They want to be free from blame. They want to be forgiven. Just like me. They want softness and connection in their life and love and peace. Just like me, they appreciate beauty all around them when they can notice it. Just like me, they want to be treated with respect and caring. And any particle of care, love, forgiveness, sweetness, softness, understanding that I can bring in this moment with the true feelings of my heart with no argument within, just because I know who this person is and they're just like me, it'll all be better. In this instant, healing happens. I am so grateful to know that progress is being made in my learning lodge of relationships. Blessed, blessed be.
Amen to that, yeah. Not a round of applause for that. I think we have a new song there, Karyl. Just like me, we all want to be loved, just like me. We'll talk. We'll get the lyrics and we'll do that, okay? We write songs together like that, it's great. This is about my relationship with God. Sitting on a bench one day, I asked the Lord, teach me how to pray. And as I opened up my heart to him, came to me where to begin. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. And in those moments when I felt so close, I must own the consequence for the path that I chose. Time and time again I reach for the sky, only to remember truth lies inside. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. So I keep breathing one breath at a time. My spirit soars, I accept my life. Loving you comes from loving me, and in this balance lies the way to be. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love.
So now is the time for our tithes and offerings. So would the ushers come up here, and as you prepare those tithes and the tithes and offerings, let's see. I don't know if I can do it, but let's see if we can get through that affirmation that we usually see up here. Okay, this gift I give, odd in action. I send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it contributes to a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. Good. So holding your gift in your hands and just holding it right next to your heart and knowing that that affirmation that we stumbled through, God knows. And so it's happening. It's all happening, and we bless our precious, precious community and everyone in it. And so with the ushers now, please receive the gifts.
How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? You're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
So we bless these gifts and the dear hearts that gave them. We bless all of this supply to and through our community. May it strengthen it and bless it with all of the loving energy that comes with this symbol of our supply known as money. It multiplies, it serves everywhere it goes, and then out into the world again. Blessed be. So, announcements. Imagine the beautiful pictures up here. First of all,
There's a beautiful picture right there.
Oh.
We'll have to imagine.
That is so sweet. Oh my goodness. Well, I would first like to say that that it takes a lot to set up a Sunday service there, but you know we have to traipse everything over here. So I would like to thank Eleanor Harding and Bob Gordon and Jim Homa and Ed Dudkowski and Bodie and Dana Ewell for setting up our community. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the Corte Madera Inn for making us so welcome and giving us coffee and sweets and all of that. That's wonderful. So Pat Sandry and Leslie Gianetti, would you stand up? Stand up. Okay. So it's by the time you see them again next Sunday, they will be practitioners because they're oral. Just think about them on Saturday and know that that their oral panels are just so filled with love that they float in and float out as practitioners. So, blessed be. And Posi, would you stand up also, Posi? Posi has this great idea. I am so grateful this is happening. She is going to lead a deepening circle. Now, what that means is anybody that wants to talk about what the theme was today, just meet over in that corner. You'll meet in this corner. Meet in this corner. Pull some chairs up, and Posi will lead a deepening discussion about the theme. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Posi. That it's one of those great ideas. She said, "I want to do this," and I go, "Well, thank God you want to. Let's do that." So periodically this will happen. So today is one of them. Gail Durkin, back in the back, our president, stand up, my darling, is going to be doing Quick Start on the 27th of this month. If any of you would like a refresher about our philosophy, or if you would like an introduction to our philosophy, that's happening on the last Sunday of this month. So Leo's, your party, there is a slight mistake in the bulletin. The party is July 25th, that's correct, but that happens to be a Friday night. So Friday, July 25th will be the Leo's party, and we are coming down to, we've got Leo, and then we've got Virgo, and then we have Libras, and then we have Scorpio. So we started with Scorpio. So we're coming around to a full year. And if anybody would like these parties to continue next year, I would love to talk to you and create a team, because it's like I'm the team, and I want to share it. So if you like the parties, and people usually do like the parties, and you would like to be on the team to create them for another year, please see me. And then finally, on August 3rd, the first Sunday in August, we are supporting and loving and being grateful for the 18th Forgiveness Day. So Bob Plath, who gave birth to this idea 18 years ago, and this has spread around the world, and so it'll be at Dominican College again August 3rd, so blessed be about that. So those are the announcements. Are you going to remember everything? Okay, good. So I would like to invite the practitioners to surround the room as usual, and those of you who are ready to pray with people today, if you would come up here, and then what will happen is the practitioners who can pray with people, we have lots of places to pray, just turn some chairs around. We don't have a practitioner table, but right up here, the practitioners who are praying with you will be available. So this is the imaginary practitioner table right here, okay? So just as we do in our home community, feeling the love and the absolute support of your practitioners for your spiritual evolution, please accept this blessing. May all of your relationships be filled with love and peace, and may that learning lodge in your life be filled with ease and clarity. And as always, may Spirit guide your way. And now, if you would stand for our affirmation and closing song, I'm going to lead you in this affirmation, a statement at a time. Just repeat after me. I see the deep truth in everyone I know. Each person is a majestic miracle. And a welcome home for God. This includes me. Any unskilled parts in all of us are sure to be healed. As we see each other as expressions of God. And as we do our own spiritual work. I am grateful for the learning lodge of my relationships. Blessed be.
I am a prayer for thee. I choose